Now we're going to go over exporting a model. So this model is just of a simple, kind of like a cylinder or a shock. It has like air inputs and outputs. So basically like an air cylinder. And then obviously you would have the cylinder in there. How you manufacture this part, you kind of wouldn't. At least we wouldn't. But it's just to show you um, how to export it. So after you have this, you do not have to have a material specified to export it, but you have this, and to save it, usually you always want to save. You just click save. You go to wherever, and you want to save it as a SolidWorks part. Um, and there is other files, and we're going to go over those in a second. But SolidWorks part, and that saves, and after you'd save it, um, with a specific naming format that 5S goes over every year. It saves it exactly like this. So the second you open the file back up, you're gonna have everything on the left side here. You're gonna have it's gonna only open in this program, and that's good because you can always go back and change things. Right. So let's say you wanted to 3D print this part. Don't ask about how you get on the inside. Um, you'd hit save, but instead of part, usually you'd want to go to either, where's it at? STL. STL is a very common 3D printing format, and so is step file. Usually, when you do it in a STL or step file, the computer automatically draws little triangles everywhere. And those triangles are like a specified dimension, I guess you could say. Um, and it allows it to later a computer to open up just this file, but you're not able to edit it the way you are one of these. So it's good for 3D printing, but not for like a long-term storage solution where you might want to go back and change the part. So once again, you just go to save, and then you select which file type you want. Um, depending on what you are doing. So for example, you might have a drawing, which we're obviously going to probably go over this. Um, but this thing right here, as you can see, it's a circle with the two holes. You can, we're going to isolate. I guess you can isolate it. You can export to DXF or DWG. And so what those are a type of drawing file. And some programs, for example, perchance the water jet, I'm not sure on that. Those specify that you have to have that type of file. It opens it up in the program, and then you program in the rest from there with the water jet when you send out water jet orders, if they still have that. Um, and essentially, there's just different file types for different what your different needs are. So usually you'd want to use part um, DXF or DWG for drawings. JPEG for picture, I've never used that. Parasolid is another pretty common one on the Baja team. When you're saving your files, use .part or .solid part file. And all you got to do is hit save, and that's it. There are other options over here on the left side. Save as copy and continue, and save and open. And this is mainly for when you're copying files. So for example, if there was two identical or almost identical pieces of these to be made, you might in this one, like say one was like this and one had the holes vertical for whatever reason, you could save as copy and continue, and it would continue in this, but it would save this current state. So you could hit save and copy as continue, you'd save it, and it'd keep this one open. Then you could rotate everything, and when you go back to save as, you could just hit save as. So then you'd have two separate files, but you wouldn't happen to have to create the whole thing two separate times.